Killer Instinct is one of my favorite fighting games, and to go back and remember how exciting it was when it first came out, you got to go back and talk about the Nintendo 64, which at that time was going to be called the Nintendo Ultra 64, which made sense because it went from Super and now it's Ultra. So I'm really excited about the next Nintendo console, and by this point I'm like, grown up, and now it's like I'm in high school. I just want to see like more badass kind of games, and so I was excited to see Nintendo take on like some more darker material, and Killer Instinct was this cool new game that was going to come out. It was going to be one of the launch titles on the Ultra 64, and first it was going to come out in the arcades. So I had to go see it. So I got together my friends. It was like, we got to go see this new game. We went to see it, and it exceeded my expectations. It was like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat rolled into one. Street Fighter for its fighting style and Mortal Kombat for its blood and its finishing moves. You could even say maybe Virtual Fighter for its, three-dimensional feel. But what made Killer Instinct stand out from everything else was the combos. This game was all about just beating the crap out of your opponent, all about combos. Now, basically a combo, I'm sure everybody knows, is just a series of hits that's unblockable after the first hit connects. Except there are combo breakers, but you gotta be really quick-witted to pull one of them off. Killer Instinct just looked slicker and more rad than anything I've seen. My favorite character right off the bat was Spinal. I mean, come on, a skeleton from Jason and the Argonauts. I thought it was going to be my favorite character at least, but then when I played him, I realized he sucks, or at least he's really hard to learn. So I went to Saberwolf after that. I guess I like the horror characters. I was really impressed with the graphics, and especially the movie cutscenes. There were stage knockoffs where you knock somebody off a building and the camera would like follow them down, and they'd like smash onto a car or something. I think it's kind of funny when you're TJ Combo, you knock somebody off, they smash a car. I think it's TJ Combo's car, so he broke his own car. Just to clarify, the game was not 3D exactly. It was still a two-dimensional fighting game, but the camera sort of took an active part, and it made it feel like you were fighting in more of a world, and that's what made it really cool. Like, I could just not possibly shoot enough sunshine up this game's ass because it was that amazing. So I wanted that at home. I couldn't wait for the Ultra 64, and for that being one of the launch titles, that would have been amazing.
Nintendo Ultra 64.
Well, the Nintendo Ultra 64 got delayed over and over and over again, and when it finally did come out, they took out the word Ultra for some reason and completely changed the logo from a really badass kind of Nova Blast looking thing to a cartoonish N, just like looked like a child's building block or something. And the launch titles were Super Mario 64, and basically kind of went more for that childish kind of tone again. Super Mario 64 was great, but it wasn't what I was waiting for. I wanted Killer Instinct. And to my disappointment, it never came out. We had the Super Nintendo version, though, to hold us off. So the Super Nintendo version was good too, but it didn't have the graphics. It wasn't like having the arcade game. So I was so pissed. For one thing, I wrote a letter to Nintendo and I asked them, why did you change it from Ultra to just Nintendo 64? Nintendo actually wrote me a letter back, and they said that they ran into some kind of legal issue with another company that had the Ultra name. I don't know who exactly it was, and I wish I still kept that letter. But this was back in high school, so it's funny to think like how pissed off I was back then. And now to this day, there is no arcade version, there's no home version of the Killer Instinct arcade that you could actually play. They did the second game. The second game came out on Nintendo 64. That was called Killer Instinct Gold. I don't know why they called it that. It was called 2 in the arcades. It wasn't as good as the first one. So, moment of silence for Killer Instinct on Ultra 64. And how about Killer Instinct 3? What the hell? Where is it?